do you want to talk about?
Wrestling! And here!
Wrestling?
Why?
It's wrestling.
It's wrestling.
Why? Why?
Why not?
Yeah, why not?
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
Why not? Why not?
It's fake.
Fake? What the hell are you talking about? Fake? It's not fake.
Fake.
Wrestling's not fake!
Okay, wrestling.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Ronald Ray here, your boy with a cornbread accent. Welcome you to Wrestling Gold Friday night. Yes, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages. We made it to Friday. Time to have some fun. Get the weekend started here. Some people are. There's a promotion here called One Fall Wrestling, and they're having a show at Center Stage. And I think they're gonna have fun at the show. It's just getting because it's in downtown Atlanta, so getting there and getting out not so fun. The show should be great. Hopefully they have a good turnout. Anyway, yes, this is Wrestling Gold Friday night where we talk about the good old days of professional wrestling, back when wrestling was wrestling and wrestling was real. Because damn it, it is still real to us. Uh, I definitely get to do something. So, if you want to take this moment to acknowledge again. Yesterday we lost probably definitely a legend in the sport. We talked about it a lot last night, like the whole show. Okay. Also, if you did watch the whole show, feel free to go back and watch it because I did talk about Malcolm Jamal Warner and Ozzy Osbourne's passing as well. Hey, these things always happen in threes, especially celebrity deaths. They always you know Um, happen in threes. Uh, it is sad. Um, and instead of being really negative about it, yes, let's respect the family members and stuff like that uh, as well. Um, instead of being all negative stuff about it, let's almost look at the positive side. As of right now, Clint Eastwood and Morgan Freeman, Mel Brooks, safe right now. For now, I mean those folks are legendary performers in their art. Uh, but yeah, they are getting up there at age. I think Clint Eastwood is he 100 yet, or about to be 100? Mel Brooks is there in the 90s as well. Morgan Freeman gotta be touching 90. I think he's not good with ages and stuff like that. But let's just do a little 10 bell salute here. Yes, rest in peace, Hulk Hogan. Let me just quickly get it off my chest. If you do read the internet, the social media, you do got a lot of comments from people saying this and that. Was Hogan a perfect person? No. Did he do something wrong? Yeah. Did he know he was being videotaped? No. Did he get $140 million support? Yeah. But still, he lost a job, lost a lot of face. Uh, but but he did apologize, like a lot of famous people do. You had famous people beat their women, uh, get in DUI accidents okay, excuse me, in DUI auto wrecks, killing people or unaliving them. I forgot this is unaliving people. Um, one a few years ago had a couple accusations of being way too close to children. Let's just say that. Paid a lot of money, but when he passed away, it's like, oh, the legend is gone. Um, and proclaimed his innocence all the way, till the end. Never really faced a day in court. Just uh, paid a lot of money. Um, dog, bought and killed dogs, and they face their consequences of their actions, of getting caught doing it, and did the usual. Here, say this. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for what I did, and all was forgiven. Now it seems like some reason signing up for people, but like I said, making it short, sweet. This if you don't like what he says, stuff like that, shut the fuck up. Seriously, because some of the people you worship, the celebrities you worship, uh, has done far worse. All they thing they had to do was say, "I'm sorry," and life went on. Does any of these celebrities really care about what you think? No, probably not. Not really. Just buy the ticket, buy the product, and if you see them, some of them are pretty nice and will do the photo op with you. Some of them, there you go. Some of them will tell you to scram. As far as I heard, I haven't heard any stories. I haven't really looked either. I will admit that I haven't really Googled it or looked or anything like that. I think Hogan was always kind to the fans. So, um, did he take care of himself? Yes. Do you have people you work with or you yourself take care of yourself? Make sure you're in a good spot. Or make sure you're happy, whether you're the laziest person or a top person. Don't you kind of, haven't you screwed somebody somehow? Whether you're one of these, asshole top people who make sure you get to your spot, or you're one of these, shitty, lazy people who uh, did lazy people stuff, like constantly call out or be lazy, and somebody else has to cover your mess, cover your uh, part of your job. Happened. Some of you have done it. I'm not saying all of you have done it, but some of you have. I'm not saying all. I mean, I'm pretty sure there's some celebrities out there who, and I think you kind of tell who they are. Uh, they're the ones kind of keep a low profile and all that stuff. We was talking about Michael Jamal Warner, um, being a coworker was. I'm like, kind of a. I mean, yeah, it's sad he passed away, but dude, as far as I know, I'm pretty sure, being when he was a single guy and all that, he went and had his fun and stuff like that, but he never did do anything too crazy, I don't think. Um, and didn't end up like a lot of child stars do. Just, um, and, you know, and I think despite what you might think of Bill Cosby, I think he did his best to kinda watch over them as well as though they were actually his kids. I mean, he did a lot of things, for Lisa Bonet as well. You um, she did he didn't want her to play that role in, what was that movie? That name of movie. Didn't want her to do it because she was gonna, have some adult scenes. But hey, once that movie I think that movie wound up flopping, and, hey, he hooked her up with A Different World, and she left it. I mean, I don't know. I can't remember the whole history, but she only lasted 1 season on that one and then left. Then brung her back on The Cosby Show. So, I mean, I'm not 100% sure, but I think, a lot of it had to do with, him, uh, being an adult, not being just the typical, uh, actor, stuff like that. Yeah, he did his bad stuff too, but as far as, those kids and stuff like that, I like to think, again, I haven't heard anything. I think maybe one of them tried to say something that was kinda debunked later or something like that, um, but, didn't try to take advantage of them and trying to look out for their well-being and kinda did those, "Hey, stay away from this, don't do that," so on and so forth. So, um, and of course, Ozzy Osbourne, you don't get the nickname Prince of fucking Darkness just from being you know, holier than a neuter monk, so, I mean, he did this bad stuff too. He stepped on a few people, he was, I think it's out there too, he screwed some people out of money way before Sharon Osbourne came along, so, uh, but we were fans of these people, and those who, hey, rest in peace, big in or not big influence, but I was a big fan of yours at one time and stayed a fan and blah, 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 but, but this is kinda just say some shitty things, and even to the point it's like, "Dang, it could have been this person instead." That's fucked up. Do better. Especially especially the ones who, like to act like neuter monks are all forgiving and, all about coexisting and, um, are kind to all people. Do better. Anyway, sorry about that, folks. Had to get that off my chest. Didn't mean to. Wasted 17 minutes of everybody's time, and we forgot the most important part of the show. Yes, it's still cold, thank God. Hey, time to crack it open. It is Friday. Cheers to ooh, L down there. Cheers to Hulk Hogan, Ozzy Osbourne, Michael Jamal Warner. Um, rest in peace. Condolences go out to their families. Thank you, everybody, for your hard work and being here tonight. Cheers to you, surviving the week. For those of you who haven't worked the weekend, hey, cheers to you as well. Appreciate you. That being said, hey, thumbs up. Actually, I should have clipped that, make it into a separate video. Sorry. But anyway, yes. So, hello, Karen Poole. I just have water with my. I've been kind of lazy on the. Ooh, kind of lazy on the getting the Gatorade. Look, people. I'll be a star here. Can't answer the phone. So if you're watching, you're calling me. All right. Texting. Trying to be a star here. Can't answer it right now. What's up, Joe King? How is everybody's week? Everybody have a good week? I just sound like an alcoholic. Anyway, so let's get this shit started. Oh, uh, unfortunately, Facebook kind of went sideways with me a little bit, and I did kind of get home a little late, kind of like, and pretty much lost track kind of thing. But first and foremost, Facebook is kind of being a bitch. So I'm just on YouTube tonight. So tell your friends that hey, you can only catch me on YouTube tonight. I will share the post later, like I did back in the day, back 2 months ago, before I try to do multi streaming. I think I might gotta ask. I had to do one of those polls. You know, people who watch me on Facebook, would you kindly come over to the YouTube side? Because one, it's a little easier. Two, I have found out. I mean, sometimes it works great. A lot of times, not so great. I just don't have the tools. I mean, I'm just using like a regular desktop. Can't tell you what size memory and all that stuff yet, but I'm pretty lucky to get what I get. So uh, I might keep on doing it. We'll see. I might do a poll because I do. I mean, I don't. I mean, I'm not setting the world on fire as far as views I get on Facebook. The little to no comments, really. Not too many likes, but joking, yeah, yeah. Except for those fucking maters you show me. Okay, tomatoes are good for raw tomatoes are worthless. They're nasty. I don't know what it is. Tomatoes on this earth for salsa, spaghetti sauce, pizza sauce, ketchup, barbecue sauce, probably. A lot of your sauces put tomatoes not to eat raw. Them and beans. But anyway, like I said, let's get this show on the road. Like every Friday, we'll start talk about the history of pro wrestling. Talk about today in professional wrestling. Today is July 25th, year of our Lord 2025. Let's fork go. On this day in 1977, my clicker there, Jerry Brown and Dick Roberts, who is actually Buddy Roberts, the Hollywood Blondes, defeated Jimmy Carvin and Cowboy Bob Ellis to win the Southern Tag Team titles. Also, Jerry or Bill Dundee defeated Jerry Lawler in a car versus title match for the Southern title. Like I said, talked about last week for years. These guys feuded like it was hair versus hair sometimes. Wife's hair, car, money, a ring. At one time, there was a tournament. What was it? Around 88, 89 maybe, where they had a tournament to decide who for big ring. I forgot what the ring was called. It wasn't the dynamite diamond ring like that. That's yeah. It didn't last that. Even that little gimmick is way overplayed now. But anyway, but yeah, Jerry Lawler won the tournament. Then they wrestled for that for a little bit because Bill because it was him and Bill Dundee in the finals. They're both baby faces, but a little Aussie. Let me tell you something, Jerry Lawler. I'm gonna whoop you, boy. I whip you. I whooped you for that ring. You know it. I beat you, brother, for that ring. this Monday at the Mid-South Coliseum. Boy, I'm going to whip you, boy, and get that ring and that $5,000. Okay, they work on that a little bit. Didn't sound as good as it did last week. Anyway, also on this date, 1977, Captain USA, which was Big John Studd in the mask, defeated Bruiser Brody for the American title in Fort Worth, Texas. Also on this date, in West Palm Beach, Florida, Dusty Rhodes defeated WWF champion Superstar Billy Graham in a non-title match. Okay, around this time in 1980, Miss South did a angle where their Freebirds blinded Junkyard Dog. Junkyard Dog at the time was the Louisiana Heavyweight Champion. So, on this date in 1980 in Shreveport, Louisiana, at the Civic Center, a tournament was held for the Louisiana title. First round went like this: Kim Mantell defeated King Cobra. Colonel Buck Robley defeated Frank Dusek. There we go. Buddy Roberts, just going by good old Buddy Roberts of the Freebirds, defeated Terry Orndorff, the brother of, yes, Paul Orndorff. Ted DiBiase defeated Tully Blanchard. Wahoo McDaniel defeated Killer Khan. Johnny Mantell defeated Terry Latham. Not that familiar with Terry Latham's. It's not Larry Latham, it's Terry Latham. Maybe they were brothers. Maybe he was a moondog at one time too. You know something about that? Hit me up in the chats. Paul Orndorff defeated Terry Gordy. The grappler received a bye. Round two consisted of Kim Mantell defeating Colonel Buck Robley. Ted DiBiase defeated Buddy Roberts. Wahoo McDaniel defeated Johnny Mantell. Paul Orndorff defeated the grappler. So much for that rest. In round three, Kim Mantell defeated Ted DiBiase. Wahoo McDaniel defeated Paul Orndorff. And in the finals, it was Ken Mantell defeating Wahoo McDaniel to win the Louisiana Heavyweight Championship. It was kind of a prestigious title at the time. It's kind of it's one of those uh, territory championships that kind of led to uh, other things, the world title, and so on and so forth. All right, on this date in 1981, Finn Balor, Prince Devitt, or Virgil Devitt, his real name, was born on this date in 1981. So happy birthday, Prince Devitt, or Finn Balor, whichever one you want to call him. On this date in 1982, in Orlando, Florida, at the Eddie Ground Sports Stadium, NWA World Champion Ric Flair defeated Butch Reed in a cage match. Sweet Brown Sugar, Skip Young, wins the Florida Southern NWA Florida Southern title from Derek Draper. Derek Draper, he will grow up to become one of the Beers. In case you thought you look familiar, I went ahead and just answered that for you. Might be a trivia question coming up this week. Unfortunately, also on this date in 1982, Shag Thomas passed away at the age of 57 from a heart attack. He was a pro wrestler, a former World War II veteran, and football star with the 1950 Rose Bowl champions, Ohio State. So he was a Buckeye. And finally, on this date in 1999, everybody got fully loaded. WWF Fully Loaded pay-per-view took place in Buffalo, New York at the Marine Midland Arena, drawing a crowd of 16,605 people. Pretty good, pretty dadgum good crowd, if you ask me. Dart match, Val Venus defeated Joey Abs. That's a guy. Chat me up a little bit later after I go through the whole thing. Whatever happened to Joey? Joey, as far as everybody in that little Main Street posse, whatever. I know Joey Abs was already a wrestler. Uh, whatever happened to him? I mean, didn't he go to TNA for a short time, or they trying to do something in WWE? It seems like he kind of looked the part, big guy, good shape, and worked decent in the ring. Just nothing ever happened to him. Um, or excuse me, the Godfather defeated Beat, who was Sean Stasiak. Uh, Christian defeated Viscera on the main roster or the main card. Jeff Jarrett defeated Edge to win the WWF Intercontinental Championship. The Acolytes, I think that was just the Acolytes at the time. Yes, Acolytes defeated Michael Hayes, Matt, and Jeff Hardy in a handicap match. This is when so when the Hardys first came in, they were kind of job guys and wearing like the plaid or whatever you call it. So they finally got the idea. It's like, hey, we got you guys here. Getting decent reactions. You guys, you kids can go. Let's take you to Hot Topic because that's a cool place to go for. Uh, that's where the kids like to go to buy their clothes. Uh, not really if they really worded that, but yeah, pretty much you're going to be the new Rock and Roll Express of the 1990 or in the 1999 to whenever uh, going to the new millennium 2000s. Uh, and basically that's what they were. Um, yeah, I know he retired, but I mean, did they even try to do anything with him? I can't really remember him as Main Street Posse. Was he in TNA at one time? Or am I thinking about I could be thinking about somebody else. But anyway, back to Hardy. So yeah, they took it on Hot Topic, got the kind of the gothic type, not really goth, but the alternative type, you know, clothes. Gave him some mascara and all that. Um, and but yeah, they pretty much became the new Rock and Roll Express. Jeff Hardy was Ricky Morton, and Matt Hardy was Robert Gibson. Uh, and they both had pretty good careers uh, beyond that. But yeah, they were defeated by the Acolytes on this night, and they would win or WWF World Tag Team titles on in this match. D'Lo Brown defeated Median to win the WWF European title. Big Boss Man defeated Al Snow to win the WWF Hardcore title. Big Show and Kane. Hardcore Holly was the special referee. Ken Shamrock defeated Steve Blackman in a parking lot match. The Road Dogg, Jesse James, and X-Pac defeated Billy Gunn and China to win the rights. The DX name. Uh, Pretty cool finish in this match. Sort of. Uh, at the time, China was a heel with Triple H and Billy Gunn, and she had a tendency to crotch people, give them low blows, hit them in webos, whatever you want to call it, at the time. And Road Dogg pulled one of a pulled a little trick in his hat. She went to give Road Dogg the low blow and kind of hurt himself, and he didn't feel no pain because he was wearing a cup. He pulled it out, showed everybody he was wearing a cup. And did he actually throw it in the crowd or just threw it on the entranceway? Because God, somebody was not thinking and actually did try to. If you threw it in the crowd, uh, um, somebody did probably had a brain fart and try to catch it. But I think I want to say he just threw it out in the like entrance. He didn't throw it out in the crowd. Maybe he threw it somewhere, but he wound up doing that pump handle slam and Ben China, and that's how they won that match. Triple H defeated The Rock in a strap match, and in the main event, WWF World Heavyweight Champion Steve Austin defeated The Undertaker in a First Blood match. As a result of that match, Vince McMahon was no longer to appear on television, which of course it happened anyway. Um, yeah, I mean, but still, I mean, as far as them as a tag team, I'm looking at them as a tag team. Uh, Jeff Hardy got that lot of that. Help me, they they did put a lot of heat on Jeff because you had the girls kind of they love Jeff. I mean, they like Hardy too, but I think the girls more like Jeff, and they didn't want to see the heels beat him up uh and all that. And yeah, Matt did. It took him a while to get there though. Um, he did have a little bit more of a singles career more than Jannetty, but and Robert. I mean, Ricky, he had okay singles career, but not on the level of Shawn Michaels. He probably could have if he had just dumped Robert, but um, they didn't want to do that. Um, but yeah, but yeah, as far as them as a tag team, uh, Jeff got I think it was a Cody Rhodes pointed phrase, chick pop. I mean they both did, but Jeff a little more than Matt. Um, and of course Matt was the Daredevil, the high flyer. He's one did the swanton, everything else. Went top of the ladder, did dives and stuff like that. Matt did his fair share too, but uh, Jeff did a whole lot more. It was a little more Daredevil. Um, and I think Matt was more of the business end, or not business end, but as far as being pretty creative. Obviously, that's what when Matt started doing the brother Neo, and delete, uh, the big money Matt deal. But and like I said, he finally got a singles career. He did finally outshine his brother Jeff, but it took a long time for him to do it. Jeff, for the longest time, he really did outshine Matt. But yeah, they both did pretty good. I'm pretty sure. It ain't gonna be too long now. They'll be inducted to the WWE Hall of Fame, and they put Michael Hayes with them. I know it didn't last long, but because look at Michael at the time, trying to put the Hot Topic makeup on and all that. Just that was kind of cringe, but um, overrated. You know what? It's kind of hard to argue with reactions people get. Um, it, I think if he had stayed clean, if Jeff Hardy would have stayed clean, he would probably had maybe not. Well, I mean, he did wind up winning the WWE Championship a couple times. But if he had stayed clean, he probably would have almost like a Shawn Michaels like career as a singles. Uh, but if they were out now, like in their prime years or the young years, uh, they were probably one of the original, the flippy guys, the high flying moves. They they were in that era though where you had enough people saying no, don't. Okay, let's do it. If you want to do it. But this is the one thing you're gonna do. You're not gonna have a whole match of no selling and just doing flippy shit. Um, he was over. I mean, they were both over, but Jeff as a singles career until again until Matt Hardy came out with the elite stuff. Uh, Brother Nero, we gotta go up against the Express who rock and roll. Uh, and I mean, you got to admit, that kind of put eyes back on TNA as well. You gotta give Matt Hardy a lot of credit for that, and you know, kudos to Jeff too. Jeff's like, fuck it, you know, for the first time in his career, he had to play. He was the Mario Jannetty, uh, but uh, just the one that did the high flying stuff and the Daredevil stuff that got him over. Those matches they had with Edge and Christian and the Dudleys and the ladders and chairs matches. Um, you can tell it hurt him. Um, I don't know. I mean, to be honest, was I can't really say I was the biggest fan of the Hardys. Like, come on, I'm calling them Matt and Jessica Hardy or some. Did, yeah, didn't one time I call Matt uh Mandy Gibson and Jessica Morton something like that. But I would always go back. Oh, here comes uh Matt, Mandy and Jessica Hardy, Hardy girls. But as a character, trying to really think about it, yeah, as a character, uh, Matt with that, like I said, the delete brother Nero. I forget. What do you call himself? Just Matt Hardy, Big Money Matt, or I don't know. When he started doing those talking like this, brother Nero. I mean, that helped put. I mean, that's all. Thanks to Jeff, or not Jeff, but Matt. Matt put eyes back on TNA, and I think yeah, I think Vince and the creative people also like Jeff better. Uh, the personality decide, but the fans look. Sometimes you just gotta have that. Some people just have that natural charisma, and let's be honest, it was more the female fans who love Jeff. I mean, the young, guys liked him too. Don't get me wrong, because they can. I mean, let me go back. Uh, I mean, look at the time. That was kind of that teenage, whatever. I want to say, uh, it's not goth. What's the other word? Come on, help me out, chat. Emo. Is that right? None. But how many good money matches do you have? Yeah, so yeah, the emo phase is going around like I said, Hot Topic, and so yeah, they look like a couple Hot Topic employees. The young kids liked it, kind of like in the 80s, 83, 84, MTV was big. Now you got Ricky and Robert, the Rock and Roll Express with the bandanas and the long hair and coming out to, I think okay, when they was in Memphis, first came out, they came out to Kiss's Rock and Roll All Night. And they went, I think that did morph into Rock and Roll is King by ELO. Then when they finally went to Mid South, got that big push there with the Midnight Express. They started using Rock and Roll is King, and of course when they went to Crockett, oh my gosh, yeah, all see. I went to Maysville Elementary. That at the time went from kindergarten to the 8th grade. That was elementary school. Then you went to high school, at least in that town. And this was, like I said, 85, 6 ish. Um, but so you had this preteen or just got the teenage years, 8th graders having "I love Ricky Morton" written on their folders. I mean, that and had Ricky Morton stickers and Rock and Roll Express stickers or something like that, um, and just in a marker and cursive. This is back when cursive was a big thing. I love Ricky Morton. I love Robert Gibson, or I want to blow Ricky and Robert, or I did blow Ricky and Robert, or was it? I think that was a teacher had that. Yeah, I think we had a teacher. Only kidding. I only kidding about that. All those teachers who were, you know, teaching at Maysville Elementary School at the time. If your grandma or whoever's watching this, I'm just, I am just, but was he like the great talker like Austin or The Rock? No. I mean, how many? I mean, not the really not the guy. I mean, how many great promos did the Undertaker cut? Of course, he had Paul Heyman or not Paul Heyman, but Paul Bearer to do the talking. But when you get the pops that they constantly got, uh, and Jeff when he constantly came out, sometimes you really don't need. I mean, yeah, I mean, uh, Jeff Hardy in that CM Punk feud, yeah, Punk as far as working the mic, way head above shoulders of Jeff, and of course he was probably hot. I mean, you gotta understand too. How many times did he show up high too? I mean, this is common knowledge. Um, he had his somehow it's one of those deals where we it got up there and somehow I kind of talked about how Michael Hayes brought these together and I compared them. They were the new Millennium Rock and Roll Express, except for again hot topic look, the emo look. How do we get on any fucking topic on here? How do we get on any topic on here? I guarantee you, 90% of what I've talked about here, I never had planned. It just I might have one thing. This was one match that happened on Fully Loaded, and it just went from there. You don't want. I mean, I just said, hey, they were the kind of the new rock and roll express. Well, they were heels at this time. At this time, I believe. Uh, yeah, I mean, Michael Hayes trying to do the. I mean, his bald. I mean, he had the slit back. You know, his hair slit back, trying to cover his baldness, but And like I said, at that time, he just well, let's face it, Michael Hayes was not a great worker. Great talker, not such a great worker. I think they wound up booting him from their group, and they joined Gangrel one time to be the new Brood. I think Gangrel kicked Edge and Christian out, and that you know they were like a part in church. That didn't last long. Very short time. Yeah, Michael Hayes was never great talker, but uh, Bill Watts talked about in his interview. He talked about how the original Freebirds was Michael Hayes, Terry Gordy as a tag team. Um, they I think they worked Southeast Championship Wrestling and Memphis, then ventured off to the Mid South area. Of course, just like all promoters like him at the time, he loved Terry Gordy, big, big, big kid, big dude who can move uh, very good. Duke could definitely probably one of the best big man workers in history was Terry Gordy. And of course, Bill Watts loved him. Didn't really care too much of Michael Hayes' ring work. So, and, you know, so Michael was kind of dependent on Terry. You know, I mean, he can like bump around and sell a little bit, but, that's about it. But Michael Hayes was a great talker. Of course, Terry Gordy, hey, they say, hey, my brother Michael, brother, Terry, that's the way they acted. That was They weren't really brothers, but they shot with that. They were that close. Um, so he's like, you know what? I gotta bring some. Let's bring somebody else in this group. Make him a threesome. Let you know whoever I bring in, team with Terry. And let Mike do the talk and get the heat outside the ring. That's when Buddy Roberts came in the group. Because I guess the Hollywood Blondes thing it was done over, and um, they needed something to do, and he was a good enough worker at the time to be a tag team partner with Barry Gordy. He knew how to back up like a chicken shit heel and cheat like a heel, and all that good stuff. So of course they put them together, and boom, drew money for a long time. No matter where they went, Mid South, Georgia, world class in Texas, Florida, and back, just around that whole territory loop, and had a cup of coffee and WWF. Unfortunately, their partying rock and roll lifestyle kind of caught up with them on that one. Yeah, dude, I thought Edge and Christian was pretty good. I mean, all three of those teams were really. I mean, if we're going to be honest, all three of those teams were uh, Edge and Christian, the Hardys, and the Dudleys. Three, very good teams. It's at this time lucky they actually got to work together as long as they were able to work together. Because at this time, I don't think Vince was ever a fan of tag teams. So when uh, the, the 80s kind of dwindled, and the age of great tag teams were kind of, yeah. I mean, he got the Road Warriors and stuff like that. So later on, because fans like tag team wrestling. I don't think he was a huge fan of it, and there were some, but just a lot of the good tag, like the Eliminators we talked about. Eliminators were a great tag team, but Um, they never got that national spotlight. Anyway, so that does it for today in wrestling history. We ready to do a little watch along? I had no idea what I was going to do tonight, so uh, decided to do a little AWA from 1981. Let me get the video out. I'm going to share the link in the chat so you can watch along with me. Hey, awesome! I didn't push the wrong button this week. Let me get my mouse away from there. Yeah, I fucked up. Uh, so whenever y'all are ready, I gotta cue my shit up too. All right. All right. Gonna count it down in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Press play now. Yeah, obviously, this ripped from the before there was the WWE Network. The WWE had a um like a pay-per-view channel on cable called WWE 24/7, and it was just a prelude to the WWE streaming network. Yes, yes, it was. Champion Jimmy Brunzel, the World Heavyweight Tag Team Champions. You gotta miss ring announcers back in those days who would say that. Greg Gagne. And they gave us Greg right off the. But hey, it's when he was a high flyer with uh, jumping Jimmy Brunzel. But jumping Jimmy, he was trained by Vern. did Vern Gagne's camp, like Ric Flair and Ricky Steamboat. A few others did. Maybe we get the chance to see that. I mean, one thing I will say about Jim Brunzell, he had one of the best drop kicks in pro wrestling. Like I said, you probably know Jim Brunzell. Some of you folks probably know him more as a member of the Killer Bees, the B Brian Blair. They were actually a pretty decent tag team as well. I mean, Greg Gagne, he was okay in the ring, but let's face it, like you said, what'd you call the personality of a sock? Yeah, yeah, not much of a personality to Greg Gagne. Yeah, at that time, yeah, you had a lot of good tag teams. You had, the Killer Bees, you had the Hart Foundation, the British Bulldogs, the Islanders. I was watching an Islanders match the other week, and I was like, man, they were so fucking good. Nikolai Volkov and Iron Sheik, Rougeos. So of course this is the AWA, and um, even though this team was called the High Flyers, a lot of groundwork, taking one body part and working on it. Back when they take one body part, wear it down, and maybe if they couldn't get a submission, they uh, get their finishing hold on them. Just wear their opponent down, working on one body part. The 5 points of balance: the head, right and left arm, and right and left leg. 5 points of balance. Yeah, dude, I love, especially especially in the '80s. They had such great tag teams. Tag. God dang it, Greg! You're supposed to kick him in the belly well. Ref, get in there, Foot Locker. Now they gonna do shite. Greg Gagne said enough of that shit. My daddy runs this company. Not gonna get the best of me. Actually, Greg Gagne's shooting review was actually pretty good. Yeah, especially at the like I said, the '80s had such great tag teams. Rock and Roll Midnights, Road Warriors, Russians, Demolition, the Midnight Rockers. Turnbuckle for Shannon. There it is. And probably one of the world's worst drop kicks. Bam. Fucker, let's drop kick the shit out of you. What's the stand out, bitch? I think it's on YouTube. Uh, High Spots has got their own YouTube channel, and they showed quite a few shooter interviews. This was pretty decent. Arn and Tully was a good tag team. The Rougeos, the Lightning Express, Tim Horner and Brad Armstrong, pretty good tag team as well. I don't know. I was definitely a big fan of the Midnight Rockers because being a young kid at the time, kind of like when people watch AEW now, they kind of like dig the fancy moves and stuff like that. And uh, Sean and Marty was very athletic and had some uh uh pretty good tag team moves. Yes, of course. Oh, big name dive. Yes, that's your high flying there. Drop kicks and uh middle rope knee drive. Yes. Oh my gosh. I mean, too bad when they went to the WWF or Patch Naka went to WWF team with who was it? Sato as the Orient Express, which they were a good tag team. The Orient Express, the original with Sato and I think it was Sato and Pat Tanaka was really good. Sato decided to say, "Hey, I want to go back home to Japan," and they brought in Paul Diamond in, but they put him in the ring and called him Kato. Or yeah, put a mask on him and call him Kato. Oh, there we go. Yeah, because that was Vern Gagne's move. Yeah, they put it. Yeah, they put a mask on Paul Diamond, call him Kato. I Once I realized that was Paul Diamond, I was like, oh gosh, let's call him Bad Company. Bring back Dallas Page, be their manager. Yeah, Steve Williams and Ted DiBiase, great tag team. Fantastics, they were good tag team. Their only fault was they had to follow the rock and roll, except for in Texas. Oh, look at me. Woo! Gene. Call my hotline 1-900-909-9900. Yes, that's uh, Johnny Valiant, not Jimmy Valiant, Johnny Valiant, or Jimmy V. That in the WWE. Yeah, the Batten Twins were pretty good. Doctor Death and Ted DiBiase was really good. New Breed. I mean, I know they didn't last that long, but New Breed was a hell of a tag team. Um, Power and Glory. And Doc and Gordy. Doc and Gordy. The Eliminators are good. Public Enemy, decent. Gangsters, decent. Southern Boys, Tracy Smothers and Steve Armstrong. Uh, th- Gotta mention the Nightmares, Danny Davis and Ken Wayne. The new Mass Nightmares with um, Billy Starr and Ted Allen. They were a pretty good tag team. I know probably not seen by a lot of people. I, folks, when I tell you I'm a pro wrestling geek, especially when I was a kid and watched a lot of wrestling. I'm not bullshitting you, folks. I watched a lot of fucking wrestling. Let's not forget the fabulous ones. Rapadandanski. Now that's Bruce the fucking Barber Beefcake. God, fucking Bruce was fucking jacked. Zambooey Express. Bruce Beefcake, Greg Valentine, the Hart Foundation, British Bulldogs. I think I'd already mentioned their names. Good gosh, look how freaking jacked that. I mean, I mean, he's always in good shape, but he wasn't as big as he was when he first became Bruce Beefcake in WWE or WWF, excuse me. Oh, I mean, he had the grapplers who were also the Dirty White Boys. Um, Bill Hickson and Dennis Condrey. I actually watched an old tape of them. They were really good. Stevens and Botwinkle. Um, Gosh, there's somebody on the tip of my tongue. I can't think of it right now. Robert Fuller and Jimmy Golden, of course. Dizzy Ed Boulder. That Pork Chop Cat. The Bruise Brothers. Norval Lawson and Coco Beware. The Powers of Pain, I thought they were pretty decent. It's more about their look, though, I think. Um, and of course, the Freebirds. The Monkeys. How can we forget about the Monkeys? Randy and Bill Mulkey. Come on, folks. They defeated one of the best tag teams in the world at the time. They were the California Tag Team West Coast Tag Team Champions, the Gladiators, the Monkeys. Couldn't beat anybody else, but by God, they did beat them. Kansas Jayhawks. Okay. There's another tag team who I think because they just did the territories and never did. You know, they were in Crockett, but they just have formed and they wound up getting better spots in other territories. The Rock and Roll RPMs, Mike Davis and Tommy Lane. I mean, Arn and Ole were good. Ole and Gene were good. Arn and Tully were good, obviously. Pre Midnight Express, Bobby Eaton and Coco Beware. That's it. Got him in that full Nelson. Cap. Oh, he's trying to do the Ken Patera thing. I mean, Randy Rose and uh, Dennis Condrey as a team was pretty good. The Wild Samoans, I mean, they were great. The Invaders in Puerto Rico, they were good. The Moondogs were okay. I wasn't a huge, okay. I wasn't a huge fan of the Moondogs. I definitely wasn't a huge fan. Trust me. If you watch any of my, streams or videos, and the subject of the Nasty Boys got brought up, I'm quickly to tell you I was never, ever, ever a fan of the Nasty Boys. Talking about Baron von Raschke. Well, I mean, the Von Erichs, you got to put them in there. Carrie and Kevin, Kevin and David, David and Carrie. Oh, Ricky Young. Of course, Ricky Young, he's a five-time All-American and and oh yeah, I mean, I remember them when they were like the Ebony Experience and Global. I was like, these dudes are pretty fucking good. I thought, uh, again, I was never a fan of the name change. Uh, they came in as Cole and Keith or whatever the fuck, Harlem Heat. Then they's like, okay, Booker T, Stevie Ray, Harlem Heat. Then Scott Hall came in, the Harlem Heat from Houston, Texas. Now, and this is the time where, yeah, Cole and Kane, that's it. Um, and this is time where you just can't get people to get along for some reason. I mean, I thought Brian Pillman and Z-Man were a pretty good tag team. Yeah, Doom was good, really good. Um, but Pillman and Austin was a whole lot better. Um, I thought, Two Cold Scorpio and Marcus Bagwell, they were a pretty decent tag team too. It's just they couldn't get along. And that was the time it's like, no, we're not going. We don't care. We I can. I think I can be a star by myself. I don't need this guy. Now you got to go. You got to remember what time they were a tag team, and but still watch their match teaming together. The Gibson brothers, Ricky and Robert Gibson. Robert Gibson before Rock and Roll Express. He teamed with his legit brother Ricky Gibson. No, that was it wasn't Sean Roll. It was Todd Champion and Firebreaker Chip. Sean Roll teamed with Chris Champion as a new breed. Then an NWA Wildside, Sean Roll teamed with was it Rusty Riddle or something like that as the Total Destruction. I think it was. Another tag team that kind of formed an AWA, then for some reason they split up, or one of them left, or one of them got injured. Had the potential to be a good tag team was DJ Peterson and JT Southern. That's it. Oh, do you ever listen to Orange podcast? He had a pretty good story about having to wrestle. Yeah, Adonis and Ventura, Rhodes and Murdoch, Rhodes and Magnum. Um, yeah, he had a him and Tully had no. What's it? No, I think it was him and Sabisco had to work with they call them the WCW Patriots. Firebreaker Chip, who was Curtis Thompson and Champion, and seems like that they get along with Todd Champion too well. Um, uh, here he is. I get back to the orange story. Oh, Sonny Rogers. He's yeah. Just before he was Thunder Lips. And I mean, you gotta understand too. Is like Hulk Hogan was the big star during the wrestling boom of the '80s, rock and wrestling era. And you got to give the guy credit too. Him turning heel really, really did kind of kick off the Monday Night Wars. I mean, that it was on, but I don't think anybody really considered WCW competition to the WWF until they started doing that NWO thing, uh, spearheaded with Hulk Hogan turning heel and everything. Um, so there's two eras right there that Hulk Hogan was like the big, if not the biggest star, at least top two biggest stars. And see, is Hogan supposed to be the heel in this match or be a heel? Kind of weird because I was like, is Ventura a babyface or is he a heel? Then they kind of pulled a heel move with this manager. But yeah, I mean, even right there, he did that move and got a pop from the crowd. I mean, it makes you wonder if Vern ever like really regretted not making Hulk Hogan the focal point of his company. Now, where they would have taken off like the WWF, probably not. I'm saying not because Vern would have definitely stayed in his territory. Oh, excuse- I mean, yeah, definitely does. I mean, you got to understand he was like a true uh what's the word I'm looking for? I can't, I hate it when a true attraction. I mean, he put a lot of butts in seats, made people who wrestled him and underneath him a lot of money. He had his friends too. He made sure he took care of, made sure they had jobs. Um, I mean, at least try to help as much people as you can. Yeah, '80s. Uh, I don't see the TNA thing as a. I wouldn't say TNA was a shining light for Hulk Hogan. 'Cause you gotta remember when Hulk Hogan came in with you know his deal and everything with him and Eric Bischoff. That well, I mean, it ended the Dixie Carter run of TNA. Then Anthem bought TNA, changed it to Impact, then turned it back to TNA. And you gotta understand too, it's like, he did the territories. It wasn't like he appeared in Rocky 3 and said, "Oh, come here and be one of our top baby faces." No, he did a grueling training to get beat up by Hiro Matsuda, got his leg broke, both legs broke, or one leg broke, the one almost broke. Um, because that's what they did back in those days. Like, it's the era of kayfabe and had to make sure wrestlers could take care of themselves if the chance they get in a real fight with somebody in the street. Nacho Guerrera. Oh, is that Tito? That's Tito Santana. I'll be dang. But yeah, he was still relevant, but he didn't really help TNA too much, except for lose money. He made money. He was still relevant. Um, but TNA was almost a second thought. Yeah, I mean that's the one thing you got. The thing I was kind of mentioned too is like I mentioned last night, and I mentioned it before. His passing months ago. It's that hey, you're the star. I mean, um, and I almost want to think. I mean, did he want to stay in wrestling or anything like that, or was he not really done, but just kind of didn't want to be a full time under contract type person? I think maybe at that time he might have been ready to just become a special attraction every now and then, or do you still think he should be world champion always? And of course, that's kind of what happened in WCW. I mean, you get a contract, they say, "Hey, what you want?" And you say, "I want this much money. I want the title on me. I want uh, Jimmy Hart and Bruce Beefcake hired. Also, call Earthquake, call Kamala. Uh, get them jobs here as well." I think Honky Tonk Man could probably do something, but Honky Tonk didn't get a contract and didn't stay around too long. Um, who else did he bring in? Anyway, I digress. And oh yeah, by the way, I have 100% control of my character. Uh, they didn't have to put in a contract. He put in a contract. They, like you said, uh, he wasn't TBS or Eric Bischoff or whoever who signed it. It's like okay, it's all good. Sign here, sign here. I'll sign here. Welcome to WCW. Welcome to Turner Broadcasting. But they could have easily said no. I mean, I would have I would have said no if I seen it. If I was a promoter or something like that, or own a wrestling company. Not only would I definitely hire bookers and stuff like that to kind of know what they're doing. Um, unlike some people, but uh, when I look at a contract, they say 100% control of my character. I'm like, nah. I'm like, no, we're not having that. That's not gonna work for us, brother. And he would have had choices like, okay, I didn't get that, so but hey, I got the money and Tito was a good wrestler. And speaking of Tom Zink, I thought Tom Zink and Rip Martel made a pretty good Can-Am connection. Hey, there they are, West Coast or whatever it was called. Adrian Adonis and Jesse Ventura. Laman Lamanamanumi? Was he the president of AW at the time? Lamanamanumi? Good gosh. I mean, look at all the people who's been on this show so far. Jim Brunzell, Greg Gagne, Hulk Hogan, Tito Santana, Baron von Raschke, now Andre, Jesse Ventura, Adrian Adonis, Mean Gene. Lamanamanumi. Yes, I remember when we mentioned Lamanamanumi. Yeah, the greatest drawing tag team ever is always going to be the Road Warriors. I mean, um, Road Warriors were the tag teams was what Hulk Hogan was as far as uh, rock and wrestling era and all that good stuff. I mean, them two against anybody through money. That was AWA August 8th, 1981. A lot of good start, a lot of big time stars, and just weird. It's like Vern didn't want to pay the money. I've heard. Um, I- I've heard say that. Then you had Vince want to come in and take over the world, and then you got one guy wanting to pay the money. Uh, not only pay talent money, pay stations and promoters and stuff like that the money to either sell me the company or I'll buy your time slot from you. Yeah, I mean, uh, especially at that time, you had these two jacked up mofo's. Again, just looked like human action figures, but their complete look was uh again almost comic book action figure like with the face paint, the spikes, the hairdos. Yeah, Precious Paul Ellering doing the talking. They did some talking too, um, and somewhat entertaining stuff, they would say, once they kinda, got their feet into it, stuff like that, um, thought Hawk was a little bit better a talker, but an animal, but yeah, like you said, the look, the intensity, I mean, especially when you're, you know, the age I was at the time, just a kid, and you see these guys like, "These guys are badass." I didn't really say that. I was thinking yeah, these guys are badass. Here comes dun, 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 boom, you know, Black Sabbath's Iron Man, uh, blasting. They run out, kick the shit out of a couple people. Uh, they had a few little finishing moves they would use. Sometimes just a power slam, sometimes just a clothesline. I seen Hawk do just uh, a flash from the second rope, a clothesline from the second rope before they kind of really built a Doomsday device. One move I thought was cool is where Animal was on the turnbuckle and Hawk picked their opponent up. Animal had him in a power slam and came off the second rope uh, in a power slam. And like I said, in the end, that Doomsday device was just freaking awesome looking. Oh yeah, I had all those PWI posters. Those are those are pretty cool. I mean, every once in a while they would um, break kayfabe a little bit, but not too much. Uh, but yeah, they were. No, they're definitely legendary. I mean, you gotta think before you had the independents and stuff like that. You know, you had three major promotions in the United States: AWA, WWF, and NWA. You also had two big promotions in Japan: uh, New Japan and All Japan Pro Wrestling. Uh, and of course, all these groups kind of, I think, AWA worked more with All Japan, and NWA with New Japan. The WWF kind of worked a little with both of them until Vince kind of like, I want to kind of, unless I can buy Japan, uh, I'll run Japan, but or somewhat they somewhat work together, but not as much as the AWA, because you'll have like Dick Murdoch, come in, uh, come in Crockett or wherever, do a few shots, then go back to Japan. Terry Gordy, he was a big star in Japan. Bruiser Brody, and of course you had you had the three big promotions, but then you had most of the territories were buying by the NWA. World Class pulled out, of course. Then um, Memphis Jarrett Promotions pulled out. Then wound up being a not developmental, but territory of the AWA. AWA, uh, the Puerto Rico World Wrestling Council. They basically NWA. Ric Flair went there to defend the world title, so did Harley Race. But um, but the Road Warriors were the only tag team to be AWA, NWA, and eventually WWF World Tag Team Champions. Not to mention, again, uh, National Tag Team Champions when they first appeared in Georgia. I don't think it was a real tournament they was in. I think it was one of those Phantom tournaments, maybe, or Phantom matches where you walked in, now you're National Tag Team Champions. Uh, champions in Japan, World Six Man Tag Team Champion with Dusty Rhodes. But even when they came to Crockett, it took them a while to think what 80 as well, 87, 88. Um, they didn't need the belts. They got over without the belts. They eventually, were finally given the belts. Uh, and of course, when they went to the WWF, again, disheartening as hell. They had it. Uh, you gotta understand, folks. No internet at the time. Who knew what little kid knew what a fucking dirt sheet was? Dave Meltzer was, and how to get those. Yeah, I think you had to order them from Pro Wrestling Illustrated, get them mailed to you. Um, so definitely was shocked when one day I was watching WWF and um, got the opponents' names, but two, the Hammerneger Connection, call them that. Forgot who they were. All of a sudden, that was Mike McGurk. And their opponents, a little bit of pause. And all of a sudden, you hear, "Oh, what a rush!" And I was like, "That's the Road Warriors," but oh my god, bring back Iron Man. So I was heartbroken there, and they come out. So they had the Jim Johnston oh what a rush, and I guess almost Iron Man, but not really Iron Man. Almost the same beats, but nowhere near. They're trying to make it sound like that, but uh, I think I mentioned. I don't know if I mentioned here. Or I know I mentioned a bunch of times towards other people that Linda McMahon was really spearheaded that protecting or she knew a lot the ins and outs about intimate domain, copyright laws, things like that. Or not public, yeah, whatever. Um, yeah, she knew a lot about copyright laws, so that's one of the reasons you see a lot of people come in, and then they had name changes. Uh, they did away with people coming out to um, like songs you hear on the radio, like I mean, I know when the Midnight Rockers first came in, the first time they came in, they came out to uh Living After Midnight from Judas Priest. They got fired, then they came back and had that other music. But yeah, nobody came out to the original music, except for, well, I mean, I believe WWF owned that. That's what I mean. For sure, Rick Derringer made a lot of money in the royalties of that song. But uh, the whole wrestling album was like so everybody kind of have their own ring interest music. I mean, JOID, for a long time. I think for a while it came out to Turbo Dog. Then later on, another one, Bites the Dust by Queen. Then, of course, when he first came into WWF, another one, Bites the Dust. And when the wrestling album came out, uh, it was what, Eat Them Cakes or something like that. Whatever song they used. Uh, Barry Windham and, well, yeah, like I said, Hulk Hogan came out, of course, Eye of the Tiger, the U.S. Express, Mike Rotundo and Barry Windham came out to Born in USA, and actually Real American was supposed to be their song. Um, so obviously, after so many years now, nobody's come out to like uh, uh, name a popular song at the time. Nobody's come out to Bon Jovi's "Living on a Prayer," not in the WWF. Now they still used it as far as the territories, and I guess even though most of them at the time were broken up by or pulled out of the NWA or uh, especially when Ted Turner bought Rocket, pretty much was the end. That was the end of the NWA. Yeah, I think this was at the time where Ted Turner bought it. They changed the chord a little bit, and instead of said "I am Iron Man," somebody on the mic said "We are Iron Man," and it was like a little drum beat, then the music, and uh, it's like it's like dun 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 dun, instead of a you know dun dun dun. The, the guitar works. I'm sorry, kind of mouth. I don't get as that was, but but yeah, they changed it up a little bit, and gotta remember too. I think yeah, 87 ish. They kind of started using what's called stock music instead of because I think once the WWF was quit using actual, uh, copyrighted songs. Um, WCW had to stop doing it. They were a big company. They probably had a few letters come in and say, "Hey, quit using unless you're gonna pay me." Uh, I'm the Prince of fucking Darkness. That's my fucking song. Don't fucking use that song, Iron Man, unless you're gonna fucking pay me. Shine. So they changed it up a little bit, and like I said, Sting's music, what he used, was like some kind of stock music. Ada Gilbert did. Um, Lex Luger and all that. Then I think they was trying to at least sneak that in again because I know when they started, I think Ted Turner already owned it, and they started doing the TV tapings at Center Stage. I know when Tommy Rich was there, came back to the NWA. He was coming out to Hank Williams Jr. All my rowdy friends are coming over tonight. Um, so- oh, the Steiner brothers are coming out to Welcome to the Jungle. Uh, Doom, when they was managed by a woman, came out to Her Strut by Bob Seger. Of course, Dynamic Dudes came out to the Wipeout song by the Fat Boys. Uh, but then actually, yeah, somebody with the coolest music at the time, tag team we didn't mention. Tag team we didn't mention. I'm sorry, I should be talking to that. The Skyscrapers, Dan Spivey and Sid Vicious. They came out to Scorpions China White. That was a kick ass. You listen to that song, you listen to it, it's like, damn, that does sound like a kick ass ring entrance. I think sometimes when you uh, go to independent shows too, somehow they manage to find somebody to kind of do music for them as well. I, it sucks. I understand they want to make money, so yeah, people talking about Hogan so bad about make sure he got paid and he made money. Look at all those entertainers that probably called it the WWF and WCW. Probably, I mean, uh, yeah, ECW somehow was able to get away with it. I don't know how. Supposedly, he said, "Oh, it just so happens this song so happens to be playing through a PA system. We can't control it. We can't control that." A guy we call the Sandman, when he comes out, Metallica's Enter Sandman comes out. They just do like I guess they had a house band and they did like instrumental versions of like Chris Jericho did Even Flow, DDP did Smells Like Teen Spirit, uh, Wrath I remember did um what's that Van Halen song? Running with the Devil. I think Perry Saturn did Beautiful People. TNA did try to do that too for a few people. Like when Shane Douglas came in there, they tried to do Perfect Strangers, their house band. Sometimes you see independents. I guess they know somebody who can uh, in the one of the promotions, indie promotions I go to, Southern Fire Wrestling. Uh, these three guys, they call themselves Mad Street. Uh, what- Sal Renoa, uh, Michael. Shit. Oh, Sunny Days. I think the other guy's name is Michael Shane. Yeah, yeah. Kurt came out to like a version of Lunatic Fringe. because that song was used in Vision Quest, which dealt with high school freestyle wrestlers. Yeah. So anyway, those three guys call themselves Mad Street. I guess they found a band or something like that, and their song is like uh, a the a more little more heavier version of Bad Street USA from Michael Hayes. Except for they say Mad Street. I can't remember all the lyrics of Mad Street, but instead of Bad Street, Atlanta, GA, Mad Street, they use Mad Street, but I think they use like different words during the whole song. You know how those speakers are; you just can't really catch all the lyrics. And that kind of didn't really like when they kind of did away with that because you had I think yeah well Superstar Billy Graham used it as well as Bullet, Bad to the Bone. Also, Chris Adams and Dino Hernandez used that song. Um, Fantastics used these tops. A Sharp Dressed Man. They also did "Give Me All You Lovin'" and when they was in Memphis. Jimmy Garvin, of course, came out to that song, and I forgot who the wrestler's name, but I know you go through a few other territories, and you'll see whatever hill coming out to "Sharp Dressed Man" by ZZ Top. Some babyface was going to come out to "Born in the USA." Yep, cool times, and it wasn't just bad enough that they quit using that. It was like they use it that really. I mean, some interest music. I mean, they did get better like in the '90s, and now some of them did, but some of that shit, some of that shit now just suck. As far as anyway, it is getting by that time. I don't know if y'all hear my tummy rumbling, but it's starting to say, "Hey, it's time to feed me. It's time to feed me." So want to call it a night. Appreciate everybody joining me in the chat, joining me live. Even though I did forget the beginning, I was kind of not ruffled, but just kind of all over the place. Um, so if you did like it, you stayed around this long, you like it, click that thumbs up button because it helps. All this stuff helps me out, of course, trying to grow this channel. So, like I said, help your boy out. Hit that thumbs up button. Leave a comment if you're not watching this live. Leave a comment during the whenever you watch it. Also, if you're not a subscriber, click on that subscribe button. Get everything, check everything. Anyway, you folks have a great weekend. Have a good one. Take it easy. And until next time.
So long from the peach state of Georgia.
Ronald Ray here saying thank you for checking out my video. If you don't mind, go ahead and click that thumbs up button, leave a comment, and share this video with family and friends. I would also appreciate it if you would subscribe to RP2 Vision, where I cover the sport of professional wrestling from yesterday to today. Now, don't forget to click the notification bell as well, so you'll be notified when my other weekly content is available, like Wrestling Trivia Tuesday, WWE Raw Recap, and AEW Dynamite Recap. I also have 2 live streams. Every Thursday at 8 p.m., it's Spot Show Live Stream, where I discuss the latest news in professional wrestling. And on Friday nights at 8 o'clock p.m., It's Wrestling Gold Friday Night, where I discuss the good old days of professional wrestling. When wrestling was wrestling, wrestling was real because it's still real to us. Folks, have a good one and take it easy.